Starting right off with the unboxing, we're going to find a total of 14 runners. That is so small in comparison to what we normally do here on the channel. But those are going to come in black, blue, blue, clear green, painted gold, gray, red, and white. We're also going to get a tiny sheet of full stickers and our instructions. Alright, so getting into our instructions, I have been spoiled by all these third-party companies with their manuals lately that I guess it's time I have to go back to the good old-fashioned pull-out piece of paper. But when opening up here, the first part of it, we are still going to get our runners and everything included with the kit. And then we flip over here and we go start to our build. Luckily, it still does include the parts you'll need, not part, we include the runners we need for each part. So that's still really good to see. And just judging by the length of this is going to take no time at all. So very quick build and nice if you just need like a little palette cleanser. For the build of the Xiang, at least that's how I hope you pronounce it, this really took no time at all, coming at around just 2 hours for the entire build, as this is closer to a high grade rather than a real grade. The inner structure being real simple before the armor goes on. Luckily, there are no polycaps, and while yes, this kit contains full stickers, there are only 4 up here on the shoulders, as everything else here is completely color and part separated. Being a simple kit, I was pleased to see the gold painted parts, and the eyes are even painted on the clear runner. Now, with this being a MotorNuclear kit, I was expecting a good chunk of undergating, but as it turns out, there really was hardly any. I only saw undergating on the red plastic and some of the blue parts. I really would have liked to see more, as a lot of this darker colored plastic really tends to mark up easily, and was going to require a lot of cleanup. And you'll need a smaller file, as some of these are really small parts with hard to reach areas. And it would have been nice to see it on the painted runner as well, as the painted gold runner features no undergaining, but nubs are minimal. Now, I might be asking too much out of such a simple kit. What they did do here is really good, and I did enjoy my time despite struggling with some really small parts here and there, but that's really a me problem. Overall, this was a nice little palette cleanser from the super complex kits we usually do. It felt really good just to knock out an entire kit in a couple of hours. Alright, getting into our accessories, we're going to, of course, start off with our hands. And these are going to be tiny, but we get a pair of closed fist, some relaxed open hands, a pair of angled holding hands, and a pair of regular holding hands. And we have his spear, which is fairly simple, but is nice to have some painted gold on there, so that looks very nice. And equipping this is extremely simple. We have 3 holes here in the shaft. And so we're just going to get one of our holding hands here. And this is a fairly simple game of just we pull off the fingers. We got a peg in the hand that we line up with the staff, the spear rather, like so. And then we just close up the fingers around it, like that. And it's just a simple ball joint that we plug in to the kit. And now, keep in mind, this does not come with the kit at all, so I just figured I'd go ahead and show you where it plugs up to. So this is a Bandai Action Base 8. It's just what I had laying around. As this kit does feature the ability to use an action base with your standard little hole up here between the legs, and we just plug it right in, and boom, he's on the action base. Oh, no. There we go. Not sure how I feel about this Action Base 8 yet. It's my first time breaking out, but it's not the best fit, as it's clearly not made for it. But it would have been nice to see some kind of action base included with it, especially for the price, which we'll get to in a little bit. And there's also these peg holes in the back and on the hip skirts with nothing to plug into those. There's no option for those to store the spear on the kit besides holding it. So it would have been nice to see like a little piece of plastic printed that clips into the spear and then onto the back. Would have been a nice inclusion. Alright, getting into articulation, honestly, this guy has a lot to offer for his scale. So we have your standard ball joint here on the head, and you can move the little ponytail around as well. But here on the arms, So these shoulders have a gimmick where we can pull them off to the side like that, and we can get them out of the way for any kind of posing we need. We get a butterfly here on the arm. Of course, we get that full rotation, and we get a double jointed elbow. And we can move this little part around. For the torso, we get a really decent ab crunch and some side to side. And of course, we could spin it all the way around. Hip skirts are a little bit more simple, so front skirt can of course just go all the way up as it's one piece. Now you can snip it in half to get both the pieces to move separately, but you know. So here on the side skirt, this is on a ball joint, but it's also on a sliding mechanism. You just see like right there. So let's get this back on. And we can pull that out of the way for some posing. And this is on a hinge right here. And the butt flap is a butt flap. Big butt flap. And now for the legs. So we can, of course, get that up about that far. But we can pull the entire joint out, basically. And just do all kinds of stuff with it. So there's... Oh. If I keep that out of the way, that'd be nice. But we can get the leg out all the way. Like that. We get up there, and we can get a bend there on the knee, and with a little bit of armor separation, which is nice to see. Oh, it flew off. I assure you that these parts will stay on normally. It's just in my big, clumsy hands, I promise. We get a swivel here on the leg as well. And then we can move this little ankle part up and down, the guard. And then we get tons of movement here on the feet. Got a good ankle pivot there. We can rock the foot up and down. We get a toe bend. Yeah, lots of articulation on this guy for his size, which I was really pleased by. But sadly, no action base included, so you need to pick up one to really get the most out of that. But yeah, pretty cool little guy. I don't know how I forgot to mention this earlier. Hi, this is post Dell. The arm can also go up all the way here, and of course we get a swivel. So the Xiang Yu comes at a head height of 18 centimeters, or roughly 7 inches. Here it is next to the Fat Cat upscaled ARC 78-2, the real grade Hainu Gundam, and our last review, the MotorNuclear 100 Lubu. Alright guys, so we're at the end of the review, and what are my final thoughts on this kit? And first of all, I know this is a little bit different for us here, as we usually don't cover smaller and simpler kits, but I figured this would be a nice change of pace and just get a quick little video to be out, if I'm being honest. But overall, I'm going to have a hard time recommending this kit, and that's for one factor alone. If you live overseas or anywhere closer to China than where I am in America, it's probably an affordable kit and relatively cheap. But at the moment, right now, this kit's going for about $32.99 USD. And I just can't really recommend it at that price point. It doesn't feature a lot of accessories. You have a couple pairs of hands and a weapon. There's no action base or anything else in the box with it. And so I feel like this should be priced around the $15 to $20 price range to kind of mark a simpler high grade. And sure, maybe throw an extra $5 or so for the painting and the little undergain that there is. So if you can find this kit for cheaper than that, more power to you. Enjoy it. But even though I received this as a review sample, completely free of charge from Gundamit.com. But as y'all know, these reviews are still my own opinion. No one's telling me what I can think of about a kit besides, me. And just for that price, I don't think I would enjoy this if I went out and purchased this kit for that amount of money. But in terms of MotorNuclear's first foray into this style of kit, I think they did a decent job. From what I've heard, the second one in the line features a lot more undergating than this did, and comes with a little bit more. So maybe that one might be worth it. But I don't know if I'm going to check that out or not, just based off how I feel about this one, really. And I do like my larger scale robots. But that's all the time we have today. As always, if you like what I'm doing here and want to see more, be sure to go down there and click the like button, and maybe even subscribe, as that does help out the channel a lot. But you all take care.